a brilliant scientist who changed how we understand the universe. Even with his hard work and a lot of demands on him, he had a rich personal life with hobbies, friends, and his own interests. He could balance his work success with having a strong personal identity. This made him not just an amazing scientist, but also a well-rounded person. People admired him not only for his smarts, but also for his independence. This mix of being independent in your personal life and dedicated in your work is a great example of how it can lead to a more satisfying and balanced life. Rule number 6. Make sure your needs come first. This rule says it's super important to think about what you need and how you feel in any relationship. You should always know your own worth and avoid being in situations where you're not valued or treated well. You understand how important you are, and you won't accept anything less than what you deserve. Your happiness and feeling good about yourself should never be something you give up, especially not for someone who doesn't treat you right. When you put yourself and your happiness first, you're showing that you won't let anyone make you feel small or less important. In any relationship, you are equal, and your feelings matter a lot. You're not here to be pushed aside or seek approval from others. Your aim is to have good, respectful relationships that are based on respecting yourself. When you stand up for yourself, you become more influential in anyone's life. Basically, this rule reminds you that your happiness and self-respect are super important and should always be your main focus. It's about putting your own dreams and interests at the top of your list. To put it in simpler words, like Marcus Aurelius once said, what really bothers people are not the things that happen, but how they think about them. This quote connects with rule number 6 because it shows how important it is to think about and handle situations in relationships. Think about the story of Lucius Quinctius Cincinnatus, a Roman leader. He was famous for being really good at both the military and politics. But what made him even more famous was how he always stuck to his own values and self-respect. Even when people tried to convince him to do things for power, he always chose to stick to what he believed in. When he wasn't needed for his leadership, he went back to his simple farm instead of getting caught up in the fancy stuff of politics. He stayed away from people who didn't respect his values. His story shows how important it is to put your own needs and values first. And it's a great example of how having self-respect and taking care of yourself is crucial in all parts of life. Rule number 7. Don't always be ready and waiting. The rarest and most special things aren't everywhere, and your availability shouldn't be either. Understand that your time is valuable, and you shouldn't give it away freely to anyone who asks. Put your own life first. Imagine a life where you're not always waiting around. It's a situation where your entire life doesn't focus on meeting the expectations or desires of others. You have your own life to live and explore, and the people who get to be part of it should feel lucky. It's important to find balance and not always be ready to drop everything for others. Show that your time and attention are important. People are attracted to those who have their own interests and plans. When it's obvious that you're not just waiting around, it makes them curious. They start thinking about what you're up to, and it creates a sense of wanting to be with you. Being available all the time makes it seem like they can have you whenever they want. But remember, you're not just anyone. You're a valuable person. This isn't about playing games. It's about showing that you have an exciting life, with or without them. By not always being ready to drop everything for them, they learn to appreciate the time they get to spend with you. Avoid the urge to be constantly accessible. Think about what Seneca said. We often get scared for no reason, and we suffer more because we imagine things than from what actually happens. This means it's important to value your own time and what you think, rather than being afraid of missing out or always being available to others. Now, let's look at Ada Lovelace, a really smart and creative woman. She was a mathematician and writer, and she's famous for being one of the first computer programmers. Even if she lived in a time when society expected women to have limited roles and always be available to others, Ada didn't follow those rules. Instead, she focused on her work, diving into complex math and working with famous people like Charles Babbage. Her dedication to her own projects and her decision not to always be available made her even more interesting and attractive. Ada's story shows that it's powerful to be your own person and how it can draw people to you. She didn't wait around for others. She made her own path and fascinated those around her with her intense passion and intelligence. Rule number 8. Don't always be the one to start the conversation. This rule is about finding a balance in how you communicate in any relationship. It means realizing that it's not always a good thing to be the one who starts conversations all the time. Letting the other person take the lead sometimes is important. This approach shows that you have a life with other interests and activities, and it also helps you see if they are interested in you too. Always being the one to start conversations might make you seem too available. This isn't about playing games. It's about making sure there's mutual respect and effort in the relationship. Think about what Marcus Aurelius once said. The best way to get back at someone who did you wrong is to not act like them. In the context of communication, this means not copying behaviors that can create an imbalance or make you feel as if people don't appreciate you. It's about keeping your self-respect and not constantly seeking attention or approval. Rule number 9. Don't get too attached emotionally. This rule is about finding the right balance of emotions in your journey to become important to someone. It means making sure your emotions don't take over the relationship and that your needs are not only heard but also respected. It's about finding the right mix between sharing your feelings and staying calm. Even if emotions are a big part of who we are, showing them too much can sometimes make us seem less valuable. In the words of Seneca, the best way to deal with anger is to wait. This quote is the heart of rule number 9. It's about being patient and controlling our emotional reactions. Rule number 10. Be willing to walk away from a relationship that doesn't treat you well. This rule is all about understanding your own worth and not letting anyone disrespect you. You need to set clear rules about how you want to be treated in any relationship. When those rules are consistently ignored, you have to be brave enough to move on, even if you have strong feelings. This isn't being mean, it's taking care of yourself. It shows that you respect yourself and won't let someone treat you badly. By being ready to leave, you send a strong message that the situation is serious. This might make the other person realize they need to treat you better if they want to keep you in their life. Your aim isn't to hold on to relationships that don't make you happy and confident. Instead, it's about building healthy relationships based on mutual respect. Sometimes that means having the strength to walk away when it's necessary. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, you can control your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This means you have the power to control your inner strength and self-respect, even when things in your external relationships aren't going well. We've talked about 10 important ways to make yourself unforgettable to others. These include keeping some mystery, not always being available, letting others invest in you, and putting your own needs first. You need to find the right balance in how you communicate and not make your whole life about someone else. Taking care of your own happiness and emotional well-being makes you more attractive. Remember, it's crucial to value yourself and be ready to leave relationships that don't treat you well. This isn't about seeking attention. It's about building healthy and respectful relationships. By following these principles, you become someone that others naturally want to value. If you ever feel like you're just an option, remember that you have the power to make choices in your life, including the choice to walk away. Your worth is very high, and you deserve people who recognize and respect that. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe to join a community that values wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation. Share how you'll use these stoic lessons in your life in the comments. Together, we're more than a channel. We're a community of purpose and respect. Don't miss out. Be a part of our journey to living with intention. Until next time.